Everyone, Coach Sullivan again here with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. I just completed my 38th year coaching football. I was a defensive coordinator, but over that span, I've also been offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. What I'd like to talk to you about in this presentation is one of our six-man box fronts that we will run versus 10 personnel, right? One back, no tight ends, and formation. Okay. Not likely that they'll have a wide receiver line up at tight end, but nonetheless, 10 personnel when we want to have an extra man in the box, but still be in our base, which I'm going to cover, we can run this what we call stack front. Okay. So today it's going to be the stack versus 10 Detroit, which is 2x2, 10 Toledo, which is 3x1. Okay. And again, it's a six-man box out of our what we call base concept. All right. So over here, I'm going to go through the key terms. And then over here, I'm not drawing up plays or coverage or anything like that. Just simply the front rules of how we get ourselves lined up, make our run support calls, how we're affected by MAC motion, wide receiver motion, right? And how we adjust. Okay, that's the purpose of this presentation today. And again, I will show it to you versus 2x2 as well as 3x1. Okay, 2x2 and 3x1. All right. So over here, first of all, key terms, base, right? As you know, subscribers, so non-subscribers, you have to push the button. I'm going to say it once more. When we're in our base, that means we have two high safeties. Well, we're going to keep two high safeties. Okay? So that keeps our two high safety structure minimum. Okay, excuse me, keep our two high safety structure and minimum on the perimeter. Okay? I wanted to do that. Minimum on the perimeter. Okay, so I'll show that to you. That's a little bit of a change. So as it affects certain players, number two, the backer has to go to the lizard rip. As you'll see, it's not hard to do, but that's a factor. It's not always the case. Number three, our outside linebackers, dime and rover, they're going to get even, which means they're left and right. Okay, again, as you will see. Okay. So number four, the Mike linebacker stays in the middle, Mike, and he stacks the nose. So middle Mike, boom, stack the nose. Okay? So what's meant by number five here, lasso, that's how we adjust. Okay, here we go. Non-subscribers, if you push the button, you'll see how we adjust when we're in base out of our 3-4 front. Okay? This is a 3-3 front. So the linebackers only adjust versus the MAC. Okay, remember MAC, motion across. That has to be the wide receiver. So number six, the beautiful thing here is the run support's the same. The run support structure that we employ remains the same. So there's nothing new to be taught here. Number seven, what's meant by a China tag, that's a call by me. Okay, so I actually have a signboard here. And so if we do that, the kids understand that's the China tag. And all that means is it impacts the dime and the free safety only. I'll show you that up here. Okay, and it has to be on the three receiver side, as we'll see. Okay, and all it means is dime does the opposite of what he normally does. Okay. And then the last term here, what's meant by +1 in the box, this is the reason for the stack front versus 10 personnel in formation. We can play 6 in the box, that's one more than usual versus a 10 formation, while maintaining a two high safety structure without blitzing. See, there's the key. Okay, so we're going to show you how this plays out now. Up here, which it's both middle of the field on the top and middle of the field on the bottom. Okay, so you're going to get an even call as soon as the players see, right, We got 10. Whoever has that personnel card to show on our sidelines, players see that, they're screaming even for the reasons already stated in the key terms. This is versus Gun Detroit pistol, and on the bottom, it's versus Gun Toledo, pistol. Okay, not subscribers. All right, so now up top, it's a Liz. Okay, so therefore, the backer is on the left. See, the mic in the middle. Here's our 2-high safety structure. Okay, Detroit 2x2. Here's the only real difference, but it allows us to get the 6th extra man in the box. Okay? The Rover, since it's a Liz, is the one who moves into the box. He is 2x4 off the tackle. Okay, so 4 puts him even with the mic. He is what we call a 51 technique, which I'll go over this with you in a minute. Okay, and he still has force, orbit. And he could still be a part of the gray 4 out here with number 2. Okay? Our perimeter over here is the same. He's going to be counted by the offense in the box. So that gives us, right, minimum on the perimeter. Minimum on the perimeter. Okay? That's fine. That's why we're in this front, stack front. All right? So, 2 is removed, it's checked orbit. 2 is removed, it's still orbit. Okay? That's the rule. Remember, front support, the same. Beautiful. Okay, so now, here's the gaps, right? 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. So since I'm over here, 51, force, that's the Rover's gap. Right? He's got a force to run back inside here. 31. Mike linebacker has the B gap away from the Liz or Rip. So if it's Liz, he has the right B gap. Okay? The backer has the B gap right on his side. He's lined up in it. Okay? And the 1 means they have the A gap making the nose right every single time. So we are really solid when the play goes over this way because he's a fold. These 2 guys have these 2 A gaps. We're feeling pretty good. Okay? So let me just talk to you very quickly about alignments. The backer is in what we call a B split on the tackle. So his outside toe is on the tackle's inside toe, lined up in the B gap, the gap he has. He just lines up on the football. We do not want the mic to have his toes on the heels of the nose. The feet probably width difference, not going to work. The mic's toes are even because he's over the football. That's the only situation where a linebacker, an inside linebacker, will have his toes even when he's stacked behind the nose, and that's the Mike linebacker. Okay? Over here, 2x4 outside, it's the same deal. Inside foot, the one closest to the ball is the up foot. There it is. Boom, done. Okay? Excuse me. So if it's orbit here, which it is, that means the safety behind's got stack. He's still 1x12, Ike at 2. 1x7 outside, 1x7 outside, 1x12, Ike at number 2. Stack making the outside linebacker right. Stack making the outside linebacker right. Boom, done. Okay? So just to give you an idea, I'm going to come down here first. Talk about how it's adjusted versus 3x1 when they come out 3x1. And then back up here, I'll show you how the lasso works for the MAC adjustment. And I'll come back down here and do the same. Okay? Okay, perfect. All right, so down here. Okay, it's Toledo left, so the Liz is to the 3 receiver side, right? Pretty straightforward. Up top. Both defensive ends are in a 5. Nose is over the ball, right? No different. Down here, 2 5s, nose over the ball. Mike linebacker, stacking the nose. It's a Liz, backer, on the left. right? Everything stays the same. B-split, stack. Here's the difference. Toledo. The rover now moves inside. We don't want him 2x4 outside. Number 2 is over here. So now the same scenario. His outside toe is on the tackle's inside toe. He's also a B-split. He's now a 31. Right? This is crucial. He has to say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, which tells the mic. He has that B gap. So now the mic fits into the A gap opposite the nose. Play side, backside. All plays. Right? There are 6 gaps. We got 6 defenders. This is why we're in the stack front. Okay? Following the rule, it's right. Run support's the same. Sky and less. There is no number 2, so it's sky support over here. Okay? Here's the difference, which brings us back to minimum on the perimeter. 1, 2, 3. We only got 1, 2, 3. Right? That's minimum. We usually have a +1. Well, we can't be both +1 in the box and +1 on the perimeter while keeping 2 high. You can't have everything. So we're sacrificing the +1 on the perimeter. That gives us the minimum to keep the 2 high safeties and be +1 in the box. Remember why we're in the front, right? For the run. So now what the automatic is, outside linebacker, dime in this case, you apex 2 and 3, which means split the difference. Okay, split the difference. You still got your up toe on the heels of your DN. See that? Everything stays the same. So it's not necessarily the 5-yard rule anymore in width. You got apex 2 and 3. So if they're wider than 5, so are you. Okay, it's still orbit. It's still stacked. So we, again, run support the same. Beautiful. On the one receiver side, 1X. Boundary corner rolls up, outside press. Okay? So here's the other key to all of this. Because, okay, we only got minimum box numbers. This is what we call an automatic. 3x1 equals check Pittsburgh. Or what we usually hear our players say, check pit, check pit, check pit. Check pit, check pit, check pit. Okay, check pit, check pit, check pit. So what that means, I'll add it to the key term over here. So non-subscribers, you're going to have to push the button. Okay, 3x1 equals check pit. Doesn't affect the run supports, doesn't affect the alignments, nothing. Check pit. So that's how we will play the 3 receiver side. Okay? So it's a thing of beauty. Very minor tweak. All right? So now I want to go back so we can take a look at lasso. So see how much we've covered? Right? Let me talk to you about the China tag after I cover lasso up here. Then I will cover lasso down here as well as the China tag. Okay? So we got to hold off on number 7. So right now we're going to take a look at lasso. So since the offense is in black, I'm going to do the motion with the greens. Right? So Mac motion. Motion across, right? Wide receiver, motion across. Okay? Same everything. Meaning, movement, rabbit. Speed of the motion, everything stays the same. He's across. What will happen is it's going to check from Liz to check. I'm doing it in black. Sorry, just saved myself time. To check, rip. So here's the lasso. Backer changes sides because the lizard rip changed sides. If you wonder why we don't just bump, there isn't a big difference between the bump and the backer, the big difference is only one guy's moving, not two. And the mic is the mic, the backer is the backer. It impacts potential blitzes and everything else. So just having one guy move is better than two, in my opinion. Okay? So now it's 3-by-1, right? Think down here. He moves in and says, I'm here. He just moves over, right? He now moves out to apex. And there it is. That's the lasso. Just the linebackers, right? Lasso's a version of rope. Non-subscribers. Okay, so everybody with me there? So now down here, it's check Pittsburgh. And so it's either one of these, 2 or 3. Goes in motion, and we know it won't be both of them, right? So same thing. We got rabbit. And the lizard rip won't change. So he doesn't have to go too far. But now he'll move in to be within that 5-yard rule. And now he has to move out to get back to the 2-by-4. So now he says, I'm leaving. So the outside linebacker opposite the pass strength, whether it's 2 receivers or 1, if he's coming into the box, he says, I'm here. That affects the mic. If he's leaving the box, not completely, but it does enough, 2-by-4, so now he replaces him and takes that B gap. He just says, I'm leaving. And then he goes from 10 to 31. Again, everything's connected on that rope, lasso. All right, so that got messy real fast. I understand. So the last thing I want to do is I'll try and clean all this up a little bit. Is the China tag. Okay, so I'll put that here in red. So all it means is the dime and the free are going to, the dime in particular is going to do the exact opposite. Right? China's on the opposite side of the world. That's all it means to our dime. Do the opposite. So what that means is this. If we call China, so whoever has this after I signal everything, tells our guys, if it's 3-by-1, execute China. It's still check pit. But this is what the China means. Okay? Instead of apexing now, the dime gets outside shade while still being on the heels of the defensive end so he doesn't line up off sides. So now the free safety aligns 1-by-8 Ike on number 3. It's still orbit. It's still stacked. So again, run support is the same, but that's all that's meant by China. So why would we use China? If we're getting hurt or expecting 3 bubble. Something trying to get to the perimeter. So this gives our dime a little bit more leverage. They're not necessarily trying to attack in here, and if they are, right, we got a free safety coming down. We got a 5 technique D end. If the angle of the play is wide enough, it'll pull the backer out of B gap because there's no threat to B gap. See what I mean? So we're okay inside out. That's why we would use the China tag. Okay, it's still going to be pit. So subscribers, you know what that means. Non-subscribers, you're going to have to hit that button. But to review here, sorry. We're in stack versus 10 personnel formation. Detroit 2-by-2, Toledo 3-by-1 to be +1 in the box, which gives us minimum numbers on the perimeter, but we still have 2 high safeties. Very easy to adjust to wide receiver MAC motion. Okay, and we're going to stop the run, and we're going to make you attack the perimeter, essentially is where you're going to go. When we're in this, the potential weakness is on the perimeter, and that's where we're going to make you go with it. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you. To non-subscribers, I hope I've teased you into subscribing. Everyone, please reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. It's starting to happen. When it does, I'm learning football, and I know I'm helping people on the other side of the screen as well. So let's take advantage of it. And I thank YouTube for this opportunity.